but that's, it's all right. No, don't knock it on.
No, well,
Don't, I'm sure it won't ring. I'm sure it won't ring. Oh, you reminded me that I put mine on silent, I have to say.
Okay.
Sorry? No, it's free now, free for the time being. How did you read it? On the newsletter, or did you read an email? I don't think an email said it was free, did it not? You wrote it? Yeah, no, it's fine, we made it free.
you can sit anywhere you like now. I was just.
Can I take this off if I sit here? If I stay here, can I take this off?
We did, but not a lot. No, we haven't done cards, but I think, we did, it was mainly, probably some more fashion, I don't know how you did yours, but it wasn't particularly much. Well, it's on the list, because you have another list in February, you've been completely lost, not the end of the list. Yeah, she was also a member, so you won't miss it. So it's encouraging, isn't it? I'm not keen on that for a long time. I'm not keen on that.
Yeah, those chairs can be moved to the left, they're short up in the back.
Yes, I am.
You can do that for you if you want. Just send it there.
Oh, right.
It's.
Oh. So now you're here. Good. Well, hopefully we can be able to embrace everything that's happening in the UK. It's not like a right.
Yes,
Some of them but a lot of them are just hanging until September. Because August is a quiet time for us. And some people are going through August and people aren't. But do you get any This is the first of these meetings that we've done. Have you zoomed in on any of them? Yeah, options, a bit. We've had another one. No, I think it's okay. No, it was one of our more in-depth matches. It was, we found one. We had no speakers from the so it was to do my sort of but now we're back to get the speakers that are more. We're gonna do this one as well, actually, I think it's more around YouTube.
Are you using my?
Oh, yes. Yeah, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. They're busy trying to upgrade things. Hi. There, in the corner. Hello, I'm coming back. Yeah, and did you say you're coming? Yes. Sorry, yeah, I see two of them, gathered in a little bit of that. Mutual benefit. Find out. Oh, they don't actually. Yeah, well, temporary.
So you got the email yet?
I live in the wanted. Where I come
Whereabouts in Silverview?
In Water Street.
Oh yes, I know.
Do you know it?
Yeah. Yeah, regularly go to Sillet cycling and
All
I
right.
play bowls occasionally at the bowling club there in tournaments.
Oh, do you? Yeah, it's busy at the moment.
What, Silla? Mm. No, I've not been there.
Nice way to be.
Sometimes you just go to Allenby, stay. But I want to do the extended cycle route now.
Oh, yes.
Want to do that.
Yeah. There's still cyclists go on the road.
Oh, it makes me cross.
It does me as well.
It annoys me. I don't know whether they don't realise.
The signs, isn't there, to say?
Yes, I know there are. And you know, I mean, I don't like cycling on that road because some people drive ridiculously fast on it.
Yeah.
And it's being a cyclist myself, they're giving cyclists a bad name.
Yeah.
You know, all the money being spent on the cyclists, right?
That's right.
People will say, well,
I feel like shouting out the window, please
yeah.
use the cycle
Yeah.
track. Yeah. I think there are more walkers use it, which is lovely.
Well, that's one of the problems that for cyclists, particularly walkers with dogs and pushchairs.
Oh, yes. Yeah. To get by them.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bell on the bike and I just ring it when I'm about 50 yards and I move to the side, you know. But that's another thing that annoys me. A lot of cyclists don't have bells.
No.
And they're only little light things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can shout, I suppose, bicycle, you know, that's
Not
the
the
time.
same, is it?
Angela, I think it's your name.
Valerie. It's Valerie.
Oh, Valerie, sorry.
I've been talking to a lady called Angela, mine was deleted.
Valerie Marshall.
Yes. Yes, Angela's over there, I've just been talking to her, she's a new member as well, she's a new member, a lockdown member. So first one out with us. She is here, she's been on here. Ready to do anything on Monday today?
I sometimes say right anyway.
You've got your chair.
Yes.
I'll give you one. No, it's very sort of.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah, 5 minutes away. You know, the secretary.
within a travelling distance, but I think that's a travelling distance. Yeah, I don't know if you know the government now. I don't know for it.
Well, they're very good deal last year, but I mean,
You know what, I was telling you what,
well, I don't do, I just do myself.
so then leave, it's not yeah. I was out cycling and school day. And I drove down, I take the bike on the back of the car. And I switched it off. Driving down. Which one? That's a few years ago when we saw that.
Let us know if you can't hear.
It works best at the entrance.
It works best at the edges. It's not the deep. We're all here. Okay, and in case anyone else. So, yeah, you can't start early. You never know, someone might just come going off. It's all everything.
Still haven't got my email. Oh, well, I mean, the email's got 1 minute. There's 30 bunches of emails.
Oh, I didn't know how they went. I thought they only just had some. You could send it to people expect to know before.
You'll soon have more people online than we have here.
Sorry,
You'll soon have more people online than we have here.
don't tell me.
It's exciting. Yeah, we're up to 7 o'clock.
I think the email's fine. Do they go in alphabetical order
When you set an
The real old document, time
Where are people then?
We've got 7 online.
Where are they?
No idea. They'll be named. Well, they might be random.
I think when we did yoga, we actually showed all lots of yoga saying.
Right, we'll make a start. It's 2 o'clock. See you over here.
My email has arrived.
Your email has arrived. Okay. Right.
You'll have to speak up in because you're
I'm going to hang on the microphone. Quiet. Attention, please. Hi. Glad to see you all here. In case those of you who haven't seen me before, I'm Ian Hall. Been your chairman since last March, I guess, roughly. So this is the first ever monthly meeting that I've been in person. So it's good of you all to come out. It's certainly a change for us all to meet in person and hear Pauline. Let's hope we can carry on meeting in the future. Though we're not having a meeting next month in August because that's our normal practice and people are away on grandparenting duties, etc., etc. Also, at this meeting, you'll see a little camera set up there, which is broadcasting on YouTube. And apparently, what have we got? 7 or 8 people watching?
8 people watching.
8 people watching at home already. I don't know if they can see me or not.
Yes, they can.
They can see me now. That's okay. So we'll probably carry on doing that in future, but we'll wait and see what the requirement is like and what life after July the 19th is really like. And we might know a bit more about that at 5 o'clock tonight. I think it's 5 o'clock. Boris is on. Anybody know any better than that?
Comes on when he comes on.
He's been better recently. Right, as we said, I need to just do a quick check on the register. We have a list of you all registered on the website, and I've got a little list here. So, just like being at school, this. So we're only using one pen. So I'll go down the list, which is in alphabetical order. Colin Bell. Present. Victor Emerson is present. I've seen him. I'm here. Joyce is here. Dorothy's here. Penny is here. Elaine Lynch. Right. Valerie Marshall. Pauline Mole's here. That's even better news because you. Anne Peck, I saw someone. Yes, you're there, Anne. And Lynn Rushforth. Lynn Rushforth. Somebody at the door. Come in. That must be. Oh no, it's Les.
Oh, it's Les.
It's Les. He's late.
We were expecting Les.
We were expecting Les.
Sorry, I shut the door on you.
Right. That's Les. That's Les Webb. No, I'll come to it in a minute. Lynn Rushforth is not present. Okay. Carol Smith. Here. Jim Southwood. Paul Tharagonet. Angela Waterhouse. Les Webb. Elaine Williamson. No. All right. And did we have an extra? Sorry? Mr. Peck. Mr. Peck. Plus Mr. Peck. Right. Thank you for that. You obviously understand we're operating under COVID rules, so unfortunately we can't get refreshments. Maybe at the next meeting, let's hope we can be back to normal. And just a reminder about the rule of 6 when we're meeting. So if you do gather afterwards inside, please. We do want to keep on side with the church hall here so that we can carry on. Anyway, that's enough of domestics. Over to you, Pauline. Do you want to switch your microphone on?
Oh, yeah, don't get wired up.
No, just drop the battery in. It's on.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Am I wired? Well, hello everybody. And thank you, Ian, for asking me to come today. And thank you, Penny, for keeping me on your list. Because when you asked me to read my poems on Zoom, I panicked and I said, oh no, I'd rather have folks in the room, because I'm not really into modern technology. I've never needed to have any ology, but I like to look at faces to see how you all react. And am I being understood? Am I making an impact? So I hope to see you have lots of smiles and a nod or two. And I pray nobody nods off, but hears me through. Because, you know, thinking about my verses, I never think about grammar. I just think of words that rhyme, like grammar goes with clamour. Now, folks might find it a job to understand me, but it'll be right, because I'll never be any grander. My friends have sometimes asked me, who this to do it? And I says with a shrug, support, and I never knew it. But when I think of something, I have to write it down. And it's often at night, when I was in my nightgown, I have to sit up and switch on my light. It's queer how it all comes to me in the middle of the night. And sure as not, there's no pen or a pad, so I have to get out of my nice lamp bed. Because I slate, if I didn't jot it down with speed, by morning time, cause it'll have gone out of my head. I keeps telling myself off and try to count sheep, but no, words won't let me be. I just have to get up and write it all down, you see. Now, when I was a young'un and still at school, we had to read poems out, and I felt sick of fuel. Because we ought to stand up, yan be yan, and I'd tell myself, no, just read this as best as we can. Because they all wrote about fishing in a stream or a river. All I could think about was my long net in a beck, but we were happy and contented, so what the heck. Them poets, they did have to think about grammar, but the nose, I can't even remember reading of the word clamour, can they? Yeah, well, my name now is was Peacock, and now it's Mole. So this one is for you to imagine me as a little mole wishing I was a peacock. I wish I could live outside of this hole. I wish I was a peacock instead of a mole. I know I am silky and not at all loud, but I wish I was a peacock, elegant and proud. My skin is smooth and black as night, and my eyes are tiny with lack of light. I'll work and dig as fast as I can, but I wish my tail was a beautiful fan. The peacock have feathers of deep blue and green, and the most gorgeous neck you've ever seen. But my feet are big and clumsy and rough. Oh, how I wish I was a peacock and could strut my stuff. As big as he is, the peacock can fly, and he shouts and screams with a piercing cry. But I'm so quiet and shy and ever so small, I don't get a chance to be noticed at all. I wish I was a peacock who swaggers and swings. I'd have a cute little beak, and my feet could be wings. Yes, the peacock can flaunt and flounce all around, while I'm slaving away all day underground. And then I wrote this one for my friends who were emigrating to Australia, and I gave them this poem with a Lakeland calendar. Here's a little bit of Lakeland for you to see at a glance, all the beautiful surroundings you live in by chance. You could have lived, for instance, over in Northumberland, and while that's wild and wonderful, you cannot beat Old Cumberland. The whitewashed cottages and an isolated farm nestling below mountains are our Lakeland's charm. But look to another side and see the lakes and streams and catch the bright sunlight as it reflects and gleams. Capture the colours of the autumnal trees, the brown fernland fells and the bare rocks and screes, all the golden and ambers mirrored in a lake or mere. Isn't it a wonderful district we have so near? And does snow look more magical than up in the lakes? A blanket covering everything and made from tiny ice flakes. It falls first on fell sides and then comes swirling around to settle and freeze lower down without making a sound. And when at last it is spring again and the daffodils are here, isn't it amazing how their heads nod at this haven so dear? They're soon to be followed by tulips and blossoms, and the countryside is green again, and it says, look here, possums. Yes, people come from near and travel from afar, young, old, middle-aged, by plane or by car. They come to see for themselves all of the sights, and that they've read about and want to sample the delights. Because not only can they sample the lovely lakeland views, but also our own recipes of sausages and stews. There's Kendal milk cake, Grasmere gingerbread, and spare rib pie, and Cumberland puddings and cakes, all to make and try. So from New Year's Day till the last day of December, you can see at a glance all you need to remember. And as you turn over each page of each month, you'll meander through glorious views in a Cumbria Lakeland calendar. And then this one is called Me and Him. I said to me old lad, let's away for a ride out, seeing it's a nice day. And we'll go in for a meal somewhere, and thou can pay. 'Cause it's ages since we've taken off together like, just thee and me, and it'll save me having to rack my brains as to what to make for tea. No, lass, he says, thou knows I haven't read my paper yet. See, while I check my bingo, they'll have this illustrated. He says, we won't fancy father knows, but with me bladder trouble I've got, so divn't be thinking of travelling for miles to some crowded beauty spot. No, says May, we'll just drive along to a nice loud pub, where the sign outside says Sauvignon Med Grub. They'll have a great long list of what we can eat, and we'll even choose a pud. So get yourself ready, we'll fair enjoy it and change your juice, yeah, good. He nods and says, aye, I think we could be right. We'll set off now and be back afore it gets night. 'Cause my eyes are not like they used to be when I was trying to see in dark. And he could have knocked me down with a feather when he suggested a walk in park. Well, we had a nice day, and the weather stayed lovely and fine. We had our walk and got home again just after 9. We promised ourselves we'd have to do it another day soon, but trying to move in is like talking to a man in mune. He tuts and he nods and he makes excuses with a dozen. But today he's agreed to go and see me cousin. Aye, I've got my glad rags on and sitting waiting near the window, while he himself is checking his damned bingo. And then this one I wrote after being up at Oldale one night, 3 of us having a bar meal, and we met the sheep. It was on Colbeck Common, after 10 o'clock, we met the sheep. Not one, but a flock. I had to brake the car quickly when we met the first 2 or 3, as they dawdled to meet up with another family. And a bit further along, there were a gang of them there, all with green shining eyes and long woolly hair. We jokingly said they were coming out of their club, and that we weren't the only ones going home from the pub. Well, they looked like they didn't really want to go home. They looked so bedraggled, and they needed a good comb. They defiantly ignored the green cross code, just wandering about, as though they owned the road. Well, I guess they must have been to a family do, because there were young ones with them, aged under 2. and by the looks of their bellies, they'd enjoyed lots of food. So wherever they'd been, it must have been good. They could hardly put two legs in front of the others. We didn't see any fathers, just lambs with their mothers. But by the time we got home, they'd be laid down all content, thinking, like us, of the good time they'd just spent. They'd fall fast asleep and dream dreams of good cheer, and never know they'd held us up. That's very clear. So next time there are sheep on the road late at night, drive very slowly, because they think they are right. Thank you. Well, this is usually the time of year to pack to go on holidays. And I wrote this one a few years ago, and you might be able to tell that I hate packing. Claire's family holidays. Jennifer, next door, has planned us a holiday away. She said, we'll go to Bournemouth and nobody'll know where we're from. They'll think down there that we're Scottish and we'll make them no wiser. See, we'll not have to buy a round of drinks because they all know that every Scots a miser. We've booked on a bus that'll take us down there, and we're stopping at a great hotel not far from pier. Bus starts for Gretna and there'll be 44 aboard. See, we should be all right. It'll be better than going abroad. Well, I asked this sea-card friend, how many Clares does thou pack? Oh, I didn't take many, she said. They're just as the more to count back. She told me she just takes Clare's casual stuff to wear during the day, and then she gets me dressed up for night time. A bit tarted up, I would say. But anyway, to the day I looked in my wardrobe to see what I could wear, and said, the fashions I have hanging up in there. The date back yonder from way back when, all different sizes, from 16 down to 10. I ratched among them all to see what I could fin, and I reckoned a good half of them should have gone in the bin. But I sick a blooming hoarder, I just can't stop out. And most of them will come fashionable again, no doubt. The skirts and frocks that are flared or straight, fitted or baggy depending on my weight. Some are calf length and a few are above knee, and them's down to ankles. I've had since 1973. Patterned are plain, spots and stripes, and blouses are plenty of all different types. Twin sets are back in, and there's tweed galore, and that jabble clout, seersucker stuff, it's in and all. Now then, down in the cupboard under the stairs, the shoes are main, dozens of pairs. Lace-ups and slip-ons, moccasins and flip-flops, stilettos and flatties, where to kin to Clark's shops. What a scrap of space in there, however will I choose, and most of them are our type now, because I need wider fitting shoes. I've all manner of necks, I even have trainers for my jobs, but come to think on, I didn't go as far back as clogs. A landed back bedroom, chest of drawers, fourth drawer down, I laid it out with blue fluty flannelette neat gown. I keep it there in case of hospitals and for best. It links alongside my new corsets and my fine pink knit vest. Now I wondered about a bathing costume. I have a choice of two. It's easy of it either on, young's yellow and t'other's blue. But I better leave my bathing cap that pulls airs out of your head, and when you try to pull the damn thing off, your eyes bulge out to steed. Well, me and Jennifer was cracking, and she agreed when I told her that it's easy for a gadget. He doesn't take all this kelter. Oh, here's a couple of pair of breeches, his galoshes, and a short or two. And his tight kittle him and dew it out, and he doesn't need out new. Well, as heaven secretaric late note what has taken, Cushman, time's fleeing, and a decision I'll have to be making. I have a notion to go to care and buy a few new bits, cause there's nought in any of this lot here that fits. Well, most of us have a special friend, so this is dedicated to all your special friends. A special friend is someone who listens and takes the time to care. A special friend is someone who tells their troubles for you to share. A special friend is someone who you phone when you've bought something new. And a special friend is someone who you involve in everything you do. You can pop in for a coffee and a chat when you're feeling low. You'll be met with a welcome and go home feeling brighter, you just know. A special friend is someone you can turn to when you need a helping hand. A special friend is someone who offers to help, no matter how small or grand. And a special friend is someone with whom you can share your greatest fears. And a special friend is someone who will join you in your tears. You don't forget their birthdays, and they remember yours as well. It's so comfortable in each other's company, you just gel. Because a special friend is someone who you're happy with and their love shines through. A special friend is someone who makes you feel special too. And a special friend is someone who's still there at the rainbow's end. A person who is always special is not just a friend. And on the other hand, what must it be like not to have a friend? Yeah, what must it be like not to have a friend? No one to turn to, no one to defend, no one to talk to, no one there to phone, not to share, none to care, but to be alone. There's an old grandad staring at the floor. No one comes to see him, not anymore. His family have all moved away or died, and now memories fade, and he is sad inside. Someone's teenager who just can't go on, 'cause drugs have ruined living, all hope gone. Family have given up, friends have all fled, no love left now, just wishing to be dead. What must it be like to be all alone, not to have a friend, to be on your own? I pray I won't be lonely, I need someone. What must it be like to have no one? Watching through a window, people passing by who don't realise there's someone close by who is alone and who just wants a friend and to be loved again until life's end. Can we imagine? Could we understand? Not to feel a hug, not to grasp a hand, not to know happiness we had once known before we were left in life all alone. I don't know what it must be like, and I hope I won't ever know. I hope to go through the rest of my life having the love of my friends as I go. And a bit lighter is I wear false teeth in the nose and they're a terrible fit. Sometimes they feel like a horse's bit. It isn't half embarrassing when they rattle and shake, especially when I was just about to take a bite at my sandwich or chow me dinner. Isn't it a wonder I's not a lot thinner? 'Cause I have to think about what to eat, and I hope and pray that it's not tough meat. But worst of all is when I hear them clatter, right in the middle of a real good natter. That's when I could throw them far away, till I looked in the mirror, and then I would say, you silly old fuel for being flated that drill, and listening to folks say, they'll regret it, they will. So I sympathise now with that poor old horse. It doesn't have a choice with a dentist, of course. And when I hear Jan snort and turn back its lip, I just know it's feeling like letting rip and shouting, I wish to heck this bit was a blinking better fit. And ladies, can you remember, yes, maybe some men as well, will remember when we were at that age. When we were below the age of 40, we couldn't understand the fuss that women made who were older and at that age of 40 plus. But now I've reached those middle years, I wrote this a few years ago by the way, I'm beginning to know what it's about. I know it happens to us all, whether short or tall, thin or stout. Yes, when we were below the age of 40, we're lucky we're not yet at that stage, where every blinking ailment in life is because you're at that age. What are these things that are inside us, these things that cause all the fuss? I know their name is hormones, and that we would cheer and shout if when they start to trouble us, we could just go and have them out. I wonder what it's like for men to be 40 years and more. I think life must be very mundane and really quite a bore. For you never hear of men's hormones making their lives hell. It's just not fair when they're that age that they don't suffer as well. Well, I went to see the optician to have an update eye test. Isn't it a trial to choose which lens are best? Anyway, I managed and I asked, is there much change? He said there was, but at my age, that wasn't very strange. He passed me a book and asked me to read a sentence from a page and said, yes, there is a difference. He shrugged, but I'm afraid you're at that age. Now that was the optician, but what of your GP? Isn't he the one man you dread going in to see? Because no matter what the trouble is, he'll always get round it somehow to mention the menopause and ask, how old are you now? Well, that's another word, the menopause, which seems to go on for years. The menopause and hormones seem to be the cause of all our tears. Yet, why do you think they call it the menopause, I wonder? Do you think when God made us, he made a slight blunder? Because he could have shared things out better and given the menopause to men. But we can always take an HRT when our hormones play up again. Oh, we could live our life forever young, right up into old age, and never be told by anyone again, oh, you're at that age. And this is the one for men folk. But you have to imagine that I'm a man, as I'm saying it, because it's a fella's thoughts of retirement. What is to do with yourself when you're old and retired? Is to just sit about, being bored and expired. I was not sure I could just laze about here. I would have to go out and see what's going on out there. But as long as me head and me ticker's all right, and I didn't wemel hour, see I stops on me feet, well, you can bet the last bob I'll meet up with me marrows. Aye lad, crack's always good down at old Horse and Farrers. If I could pintle about in me shed David Lynn, and I could find all large jobs that take up no strength, I would get clatted up digging at least a yard a week, just to keep me hand in a bit, so as to speak. And every afternoon I'd hang up my cap and lig down on couch for 40 winks nap. I'll dream all about them dark, hard days of work, all them early morning get-ups and gone out with lark. Well, there's eight of them folks that go ratching up fells. Well, I reckon I could make it up powered cat bells. They'll all come back and tell me of all bad views, but the history we at Right Buttes none of the fair weather shoes. Can you mind when he used to make bogies with bits of spare wood and fin some old pram wheels and fix them on good? We would saw and hammer on some long shafts. We should have had many certificates for our arts and crafts. I'll have all time in the world to think on times past. I'll reminisce of all laking about and how time has gone so fast. However did we manage to make ends meet? But we did, we did, and I was young every night. I suppose I'll have time to take life out a bit more. We're a bit better off now with a few bob to spare. 'Cause there's just me and all left now, seeing as kids went lambs then. But mine, I didn't know where we'll go, how often and when. But as I was chawing away at this apple down to scrunt, I'm thinking I'll enjoy my retirement without a groan or a grunt. But has not pension age yet. See, give yourself a shake, man. I have no way out to do it, 'cause I'm just 60 young. And talking about reminiscing and memories, many of you perhaps will remember your first car. Because my dad's first car, I remember it well. I think I was about 10, as far as I can tell. It was an Austin 7 and very small. Its number plate was AHN5, I can still recall. My brother named her Dorothy, don't know why, but no other name did we apply. Although my dad would sometimes call her a word that my brother and me had never heard. She had to be started by a long steel handle, and each light wasn't much brighter than a candle. Her little indicator arms flicked out from each side, but often required a quick bash from us inside. Sometimes she needed a bit of a help up a hill, so we had to get out and push her until she spluttered and coughed and then decided to go. Oh yes, she had a mind of her own, you know. She didn't have a heater though, poor little thing. So in winter we used to know what to bring, like hot water bottles and thick warm rugs, flasks of tea and plastic mugs. To my brother and me, she was the attraction, but however could drive my dad to distraction. Mum said Dad didn't swear before we got her, but really, we all loved Dorothy, our first ever motor. And I live in Silla, so a little while ago I decided that I wanted to be fit, so I would go to Stanix Park, to the gym. So this one is called At the Gym. I was far away out of condition. See, I thought I would make a decision to get fit and do without a few pills, 'cause it's a gay struggle sometimes going up hills. Well, all the wags you read about go to the gym, not just to keep fit, but to look so slim. That's what I'll do, I said to myself, then I'll maybe even climb up a fell. Well, I had heard that Stanix was gay good. See, I thought, I'll go today and nip it in the bud, 'cause tomorrow I'll just find an excuse not to go. See, I shifted out my chair and I started my plan. I laid it out my old cosy and tried it on. It was kind of tight, but soon, odd weight would be gone. I had a last pair of trousers I could wear that would disguise the wobbly fits on my gear. So I was fixed up to go to gym and poo. I was getting nervous, a bit like starting school. But I vowed that now I'd made my decision, today I would do instead of just wishing. See, that very afternoon I jumped in the car. Now I know Stanix is not that far, but if I had to walk, I wouldn't get there. And my good intentions would all disappear. See, I sidled up to the desk and I asked the young lass if there was a second thing as a pass to get into gym and into water. She said aye, and then we had a bit of a matter. She told me that for 10 visits I could pay. See, I said I would, and I'd start that very day. So with my bag on my shoulder, away I traipsed along to Jim Dewar, opened it, and gaped. There was all the equipment, but neither the fork. Then along came a young, good-looking bloke. I says, "Has thou come to show me what to do?" "No," says he, "I'm a lifeguard, one of two." Well, I told him I knew naught about set like. Jan was a treadmill and I could see a bike, but how to set them up, I hadn't a clue. He said, "Oh, if you like, I'll help you." Well, the young lad then told me that I just had to shout if I needed some more help and he would be about. Well, it wasn't that bad as I had dreaded and thought to myself, no, just to give yourself some credit. See, I started on bike and did a few laps. Then on treadmill, without any mishaps. I had a bit go on steps machine, I think it's called. Then I sat down for the rest and a drink. Better not tire myself out first time. To be jiggered and stiff would be a crime. So then I found changing rooms for the water. Not many in there either, but no matter. I thought it best not to go in deep end, but I wasn't minded, having to depend on yon one of two lifeguards, fit and tanned. He could dive into Shavna and give me his hand. Well, after a bit swim about, I decided to get in, thinking it'll have done my swim good, no doubt. But before I went young, there was sun at there. Aye, into jacuzzi now, I thought I would dare. By lad, it was hot, but it rippled just right. I felt I could have stopped in there all night. But then a lad up the steps he did run, and said he'd show me how to put bubbles on. Well, he banged down the switch, and I shot up in there. I laughed like a trout, and I laughed a bit more. Through spluttering and choking and wheezing a cough, I shouted at him how to switch it off. But nay, he'd run away, and it soon calmed down. And I have been back, and I'll always go in the afternoon, because me one of two lifeguards usually gives me a wave. And even in the jacuzzi thing, I was getting there brave. But I was not up to scratch yet, and feeling right fit. I have a few sessions to go till yet. However, last time I was coming out at gym, BS lifeguards waved at me, not just him. He's snoring. It drives me insane. I try to ignore it, but awake I remain. Louder and stronger, it only gets worse. Louder and longer as I lay and curse. He's snoring, it drives me mad. It's a wonder his throat doesn't hurt real bad. I poke him and nudge him and punch him in the arm. Only 2 more hours till I hear that blinking alarm. He's snoring, I can't stand much more. Why do I wear earplugs? Because they only make me sore. Please, just breathe normal and let that snoring cease. Please stop that racket and let me sleep in peace. Well, I usually enter the annual dialect competition, but this particular year I'd kept putting it off, writing anything, because nothing would come to mind what to write about. So I ended up writing this about my favourite chocky bar. I was driving down for Kerl t'other afternoon when I thought on, oh, it's that competition again soon. I wondered, what's I gonna write about? What can I say? Should I scribble something down that I do every day? But the only thing that cut to mind was my favourite chocky bars, 'cause van every night I have myself a bar of Mars. Now what the dickens can a Mars bar offer till anybody other than a chocolate scoffer? Whoever can I make a tail and spin it out to stand and deliver a long enough spout? Well, whoever it goes on, this is what I read, and I hope you'll all be drivelling for a gooey Mars bar bit. 'Cause for a start, they're very claggy and sweet, with chowy soft toffee you cannot beat. Clarty thick fudge that clegs to your teeth, and all covered in chocolate, above and beneath. Oh aye, a Mars bar's such a grand pleasure. It's a large treasure you just can't measure. There's your thing though, those best nut to do, else they'll have a gay job and a chew, is to try not to blather when enjoying this treat, 'cause they just cannot talk, same time as eat. And if there is falses, well, there just has no chance, for they'll all get tangled up in a power Saudi dance. You suck and chow and suck again, each bite that takes the mun count to 10. Make plenty of slather and mix it all well, and it'll feel like sluther, but it's a bad feel. And I didn't even think about calorie counting. You can't share that quality if they're thinking about gluten. Well, folks tell me I should really watch my figure. Well, I did. I watch it get bigger. Not like me Mars bars though, they're not half size now. See, I hope them gadgets at Mars didn't cut down on go. And mentioning gadgets at Mars, Mars was a Roman god, and was. Well, every night I have a war with Mars. I fight, but not with planets and stars. I tell myself to buy this new mare, but they shoot at me on shelves. It's just not fair. I was clamming for you now, but I'll hold back till after all I've heard this Cumberland crack. And now is the best time to be having strawberries. Strawberries are my favourite fruit. They really are the best. There's no other shape like strawberries. They'll easy pass a test. For colour, taste and beauty, for summer afternoon tea, on meringue or scones with cream, yes, they're the fruit for me. We think of tennis at Wimbledon, Cliff singing in the rain. Strawberries are delicious, especially with champagne. Well, not offering you champagne, no, nothing on a par, but a scrumptious strawberry tea, washed down with a cup of cha. I was going to include one about COVID, I wrote it last April, so it's quite early on. Because I don't know if you were like me, I could never think what day it was after a while. When I woke up today, I wondered, what day is today? Is it Thursday today? Is tomorrow Thursday? How was yesterday Thursday? Well, by 5 p.m, I'd had 3 meals, 4 snacks and 7 drinks. I'd done 20 minutes exercises and had 3 40 winks. The telly told me it was Thursday as I watched the news for the 8th time today. It told me how many people had died since yesterday and repeated not to go out, but in our homes we must stay. No more shopping for pleasure, just a lonely walk for leisure. No visiting loved ones or meeting a friend. Oh, when will this COVID virus ever end? But thank goodness for the phone to be able to chat to relations and friends about this and that. However, top of the list will be this virus of dread. Not Brexit anymore now. but this virus instead. To those fitting well, life now may be a bore, when normally the days are spent working outdoors. But for all the families of the infected, our sympathies pour, and for all health workers, our gratitude soars. Well, any previous virus has never been more serious. There's never been anything as dangerous or vigorous. One day, clever people will be able to discover how to kill COVID-19 or know how to recover. Well, as I started this poem, not knowing what day is today, I do think about people who have been touched, and I pray. I think about the government who have tried to do their best, not knowing how bad things were to be, and they were put to a test. I limply joke about the days being lonely and long, but abruptly brought to mind of people not so strong, of those every day of their lives who are always alone, and I know I should not even mourn or groan. 2020 will be remembered forever as this worldwide killer that infected whoever, young, old, poor, rich, well, poorly or clever, large country, small country, islands and wherever. All over this world, it is a diabolical pandemic. It caused people to shop and behave in a panic. The way folks behaved over toilet rolls was manic, but we'll never forget how this pandemic was chronic. Well, the washing is dry now, hanging on the line, none of which needs ironed, so that's absolutely fine. I'll fold it up and put it all away. That's my housework done. Work done now for today. Well, it's 7 o'clock, so I'll have another cup of tea. On the other hand, this time I'll make a mug of coffee. And I'll have a lovely Mars bar, or maybe a crispy Kit Kat. Then I'll be ready for another 40 winks after that. Well, how many of us like bargains? But sometimes we get sidetracked when shopping in supermarkets. Because I only went in for a layer for bread. I only have myself to please and feed. Then I thought, I'll get some ham to put in it. See, I wandered along to where I could fin it, but on the way round I spotted tomatoes half price. Thinks me, aye, they'll go well with me ham slice. I hadn't got a basket, see, I went to get yam, and I saw an offer for a large cheese flan. By, that'll come in handy for the next supper. I'll fair enjoy it with me 6 o'clock cuppa. Now, just outside of them was a rhubarb pie. See, for me pudding, I thought I'd give Jan a try. Farther along was an offer I can never refuse. If only Jan of them I'll ever use. Swiss rolls, buy Jan, get Jan free. See, I thought, Jan will do for tomorrow's tea. T'other I'll keep if I gets anybody. It's about time for a visit frae Mary and Jobby. Oh, now then, I better go get some more milk just in case, 'cause I let her give him a cuppa, though he's a waste of space. Anyway, I've got any amount of tea bags, but coffee's well down. I'll just try this cheap jar. It's Oxy and brew. Well, with that, I felt a weighted basket on my arm. See, I made me way to check out if food it did some harm. But while I was standing waiting in long queue, I noticed a sign, 3 for the price of 2. Well, as partial to the Mars bar, see, I got 3 on top, and I thought, let me out of this blinking shop. The lass was very good and helped me to pack, and as we bagged it home, we had a crack. I felt gay well with all my bargains I had bought. I always latch on when I see out for out. However, when I gets Jan and sorted out my lot, guess what I remembered that I had forgot? Aye, with all my macca bargains, it had gone out of my head. that all I went in for was a later grade. And this poem is one, again, I wrote a while ago, but I think it's still relevant today. It's a poem for peace. All over this world, for every colour and creed, the most sinful things in life are power, hate and greed. They cause unhappiness and bloodshed, an awful loss of life, and they lead to war and conflict, to dreadful grief and strife. All over this world, most people pray for peace. We ask for worldwide love and let the wars all cease. Unite mankind to realise that to share will be the victory. When hate and power and greed are gone, then the world will all be free. All over this world, for all of the tomorrows, there is hope for future happiness and easing of all sorrows. Pray for all who suffer in their war of bomb and gun, that they will be comforted and know that love has won. All over this world, whether black or yellow or white, may the God you put your faith in be your guiding light. May he be the beacon showing you to be honest, giving and kind, so that you'll find true happiness with joyful, peaceful mind. All over this world, goodness and mercy must win, so that every colour, creed and age will then know peace within. This is a poem for peace and a dream for all to share. It is a wish for everyone to trust, agree and to really care. And then I think I might finish off telling you all about my ailments. Shoot up a bit, lad, I's gone a bit deaf. Not that loud, I's not that bad, good grief. But I can't see very far, I's no good driving car, I'd never get more than a mile. Me hair's weeding thin, but I've hairs on me chin, and me gums show up when I smile. I didn't know where my memory's gone till. I can't think on whether I won't or I will. Me head needs a cranky, me snoot needs a hanky, and me back's nae longer straight now, it's bent. I gets dizzy and heed. Is it alive or dead? Or is it that I was just feeling a bit fent? I sit up wacken when it's time for bed, and I looks into wisher when I wants to be fed. Me blood pressure sky high, and I have a good cry cause me bladder and bowels are not right. And when I tries to sit down, me piles make me frown and I get great bunions stick out on me feet. Me neck's as wrinkly as an old turkey jocks, and if I turn around fast, me neck kinda locks. Me gout gives me jip when I was trying to keep, and me legs are riddled with flea biters. I keep rushing to laugh cause doc says I have a problem down here called cystitis. I talks to myself and I answer back as well. And when folk ask me, who is there? I tells them how I feel. I says, me hands are rheumatic, me heart beats erratic, and me asthma makes me splutter and wheeze. I have bad circulation, cruel constipation, and wind that'll flare buds off trees. Me scalp's full of dandruff, me split ends look gay rough, but at least I haven't got nits. The fat on me belly is as wobbly as jelly, and as rounded and full on me other bits. My back and my two sides, nobody knows what my belly bites. Me varicose vein gives me sick pain, and I suffer terrible in summer with hay fever. I've just got our tonsillitis when I started with bronchitis, but the nurse in Vic is a great believer. I should really have a jab for gift of the gab, but I was not sure there's been one invented. See, I better shut up and go for a sup that'll make me feel quiet and contented and not demented.
Thanks, Pauline, that was great. Fascinating insight and lots of things that we, I think think we've all come across in our lives.
Experience.
Yeah.
I've got some books here.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I've got some books with 8 mixed poems in, and they're £5 if anybody would like one. Thank you.
Let's see, books are there, if anybody would like to buy one. Okay, well, thanks everybody for coming. Great of you all to come out, as I said. It's certainly been an adventure for us all. I think the YouTube things work well. You probably can't see me on that at the moment, can you, or can you?
You're on again now.
I'm on again now, right. Anybody still watching on YouTube, if you put a comment onto YouTube, Paul will read them out. I have to be fairly quick though. Going forward, we're hoping monthly meeting September, we think, Penny?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that'll be
No plan, but yeah.
the plan. Other meetings, as you all know, outdoor groups are going on now. I think virtually mostly outdoor, well, all the walking groups are now functioning. And indoor groups can now restart. And if you've got one that isn't working, ask your group leader. Any problems, contact one of the committee. Vic and myself are both on what we call the Restart Committee, which tries to work on what we need to do and help group leaders do whatever paperwork is necessary. What is necessary after next week, we're not quite sure, but we will find out. Anything else I need to add on general notices, Penny? You can think of, Paul?
I think quite a few of the groups are having a little bit of a break during August,
Yeah.
but some are continuing.
Yeah.
But certainly we're doing another newsletter at the end of August that will update everyone for September on.
Yeah, from September on, and hopefully we can get back to something like normal then. And it will be welcome to us all to start meeting in person properly.
Brian Coley has written, very entertaining, Cumbria's Ames.
Yes, yeah, and a comment from Brian came on WhatsApp as well with a picture of it. So, yeah. Okay, well, that's great. Thanks once again. When we leave, can I ask you to go out the far door, although we're all going at the same time, the Methodist Church. We'll try and follow the rules and keep them all happy.
Just a thought, Ian, has anyone got any questions they want to?
Oh, yeah. Any comments, questions? Yes, feel free. Yeah.
What is the dialect competition? How does that organise?
It's the Rotary Club, and it's at the Golf Hotel in Silla every October, although obviously it's not on last year. Yeah. And it's for Cumbrian dialect, no.
And it's for you have to speak it.
Yes, just tell a story or anyhow. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Can I ask you how long you've been writing poetry? What started you off?
I started off by writing little ditties for people when I was, I suppose, in my teens. And then during one of my work, when I was in my 40s, one of the ladies said, "Oh, Radio Cumbria is wanting somebody to write a dialect poem about Christmas in Cumbria. Come on, Pauline, do it. Come on, you do it." And I don't know if any of you can remember Derek Scott. Yeah, he was a big Cumbrian dialect man. He read my poem out on the radio, and that encouraged me. And then people kept saying, "Why don't you do a book? Put them in a book." So,
I know you talk about the Cumbrian dialect, but of course it does vary a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
The whole county.
It does.
The dialect that you've been using this afternoon, was that particularly related to a particular area of the county?
yeah, well, I'm from Wigton, really,
Oh, right.
so it's mostly Wigton.
Yeah.
But I lived in Penrith for 30 odd years, and some of the words I said, like somebody said to me one day, "What have you been doing today, Pauline?" I just said, "Oh, I've just been pintling about, really." And they said, "Pintling, what's that?" You know. So even from Wigton to Penrith, people are different, aren't they? Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Sorry, I just looked and I've got a text from someone, I don't know why I haven't got it, I can't even just see who it is from. It's someone who said they intended to come to the meeting but had to take them on to an appointment. And then she's saying the YouTube link has come through, so I guess she's managed to watch. that was at 2 o'clock she sent this. She wanted to ask two things. Does the speaker know the word Kebby, a walking stick word, seems to be vanishing?
Kebby, yeah.
Kebby. K-E-B-B-Y, she spelled it.
Yes, yeah.
So, what does she mean? The word seems to be vanishing. Is it something we don't hear very much these days?
No, there are a few Cumbrian words like that that people don't say now. Yeah. What was the other one?
The other question is, did she know Ethel Fisher?
Yes, I did.
How did she know that a girl originally from Iran did she know that a girl originally from Iran once won the Silith dialect competition? Intriguing but true. I taught her. Oh, this is Jill Telford that sent this message.
Oh, right, no.
No, well, there you go.
That's what we didn't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Any other comments on Pauline? Oh, good. Well, thanks once again, Pauline.
You're
Entertaining.
welcome.
Thank you very much for coming and doing it.
You're welcome.
It's all about. Thank you. Just